is Big B with Triple Threat Talk, and it's great to say football is back. That's right, Big B. I'm excited for some football. Yeah! Yeah!
Garrett.
Jimmy. That was a personal thing. I'm sorry.
And welcome everyone to another exciting edition of Triple Threat Talk. Today's show, we're going to cover some Raw. We're going to cover some NFL, and but I think we're going to start it off a little bit differently with a little bit of buy-sell. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask you guys, were you going to buy something or sell something? You can buy all or none, or you want to sell it. Okay.
Okay. How much money do I get?
It's
Monopoly. You get no real money.
Just give a short reason, all right? This is something I've been wanting to do for a couple weeks, and we've obviously had bigger fish to fry.
Obviously, let's go for it.
Tiger Woods, buy or sell?
Sell.
Sell? Why?
Because it seems like ever since that whole issue with his affair and the divorce from his wife, his career's kind of gone downhill. And it seems like it's not just a physical standpoint because of the knee injuries he's had, but it seems like a mental standpoint because he's so occupied with something else. He's not really able to focus on his golf game. And it seems like other people have stepped up, like Rory McIlroy. Phil Mickelson almost won a major a couple weeks ago. So it seems like he's not really going to be in form as he was before. He's definitely not going to be number one again. No. Win another major, possibly, but I don't buy anything Tiger Woods right now at this point.
Okay. How about you, Postmaster?
I'm buying Tiger.
You're buying Tiger. Why are you buying Tiger?
I'm buying Tiger because, he's been through the divorce, the whole affair thing, and he recently fired his caddy, Steve Williams. That just came about as well, as you all very well know. But me personally, the man has too much talent and too much raw ability when it comes to the game of golf that it's just going to immediately, poof, go away. And he's never going to be any good anymore, and he can never be the Tiger he once was, which I don't think he can reach that level. However, I think he is good enough to beat 95.9% of the entire field that's playing right now. And I do see Tiger Woods one day becoming world's number one once again. Because you know my feelings on the world golf ranking. I think it sucks.
I'm going to say sell, and I'm gonna 2 points that you said make me say sell. The firing of Steve Williams is number one because he was Tiger's friend. He was a friend of Tiger, best man at his wedding.
Right.
To fire someone like that on the back burners of everything that's happened, he's done nothing but stand by your side. I think that Tiger's got a lot more issues than what we're seeing on the outside, and I think that definitely needs to be resolved. And as far as Tiger immediately disappearing his skill, we've gotten to this point over a course of time. I don't think it's immediately done anything. I think it's gradually gone downhill. You go up a roller coaster, and then all of a sudden, you slope off. You enjoy the ride. I think it's the same thing except for Tiger Woods not enjoying this ride.
Okay.
And another one here is buy or sell the MLB playoffs.
I'm going to go with buy, and here's why.
Buy.
Because it seems like during the regular season, I don't really pay much attention to baseball. I mean, sometimes I'll check out the standing because I'm a Met fan. I've been a Met fan since, I can remember. But I don't really have a strong interest in baseball during the regular season. I really don't really care about it, to be honest. But it seems when the playoffs come on, it seems like there's more excitement in baseball because you know what you're going towards. You're going towards the big, the World Series, the championship, one of the most prestigious championships in all of sports. It just seems like when the playoffs come around, people step up and make memories, just not in the playoffs, but the World Series. You hear people like Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. He had a reputation just because of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So it seems like when the playoffs come along, some people step up more than any other player, and it's more exciting to watch them during the regular season. Regular season, 162 games, it's a long, drawn-out season, but when the playoffs come along, people step up, and it's more exciting to watch.
Okay, fair point.
I'm going to sell.
Disagreeing with me again, are you?
The reason why I'm going to sell is because the playoffs need another wild card, and I say this for this reason. Just look right now at how competitive the divisions are, and then on both sides of the ball, on the National League, you have the Braves, who are a clear wild card leader. I mean, they're like 4 or 5 games ahead already. And then on the American League, it's either going to be the Yankees or the Red Sox every year for the wild card. Pretty much. So to me personally, the playoffs are very exciting, but however, I think in order to make them a little better and to make it even more competitive and more fun to watch, you need to add 2 more teams, make another wild card round.
You kind of stole my thunder. I'm saying sell for the same reason.
So you have to talk now.
I mean, it's the same thing. I definitely think you need to have more wild card because
Absolutely.
baseball, you play too many games. This is my thing though. You play too many games for there to be so few teams in the playoffs.
Right.
It's like if you're not in the playoffs, you've wasted 166 games.
Playoffs?
What are the playoffs?
Okay, Jim Mora.
But to your point about they play too many regular season games.
No, I don't think they play too many. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think for not being into the playoffs, if you don't go into the playoffs, it's kind of like saying that you did play too many for no reason.
But what I'm getting at is they need to cut out like 2 weeks of the regular season for those 2 teams to be added for the wild card.
Right. Okay. I had something a little bit differently on my list. Bless you.
Thank you.
But
Sorry.
I'm going to throw kind of a curveball here. We're going to do 2 more because we don't have the whole show, obviously.
Right, we got time here.
I'm going to do Ohio State football.
Oh, that's an easy sell for me.
Okay.
Easy sell.
Right.
I mean, what more can I say of what happened the past year with them with all the violations and Jim Tressel cover up for them, which is not a smart thing to do. In the first place, he covered for them and obviously ended up losing his job. The credibility of that school football programs is completely tarnished. There was a guy, I don't remember his name, but he was like the number 1 recruit coming out of high school. He was going to go to Ohio State, and he said, I'm not going there now because I don't feel like facing those violations.
Right.
That I don't blame him. It's not his fault.
I actually think he's decided to go to Michigan, which is ironic.
The thing is, as far as that program is concerned, everything that happened last year just hurt them completely. I mean, like the name escapes me of what team it was, but I remember watching the ESPN documentary 30 for 30. There was some team, I think it was SMU.
Yes.
And they were like getting all these players, recruiting these players, and they got the death penalty. Ohio State hit pretty close to that. They lost all their wins last year. They won the Big Ten title. They were 12-1. They won no games last year. They lost all those games because of their violations. If I were a football person going out of high school, Ohio State would be the first choice in my mind because of the violations they did last year. I would definitely not want to go to that college for football. Absolutely not.
Sell.
You know,
finally agree with me on something.
I'm actually gonna disagree.
You're gonna buy.
I'm gonna buy.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting. You're damn right. It's gonna be interesting. The NCAA right now is strongly looking at the self-imposed sanctions for Ohio State that they put on themselves for this as to be enough. The NCAA, as it is right now, is looking to not even imposing any more penalties on Ohio State. So they're saying the firing of Jim Tressel and themselves vacating the games, and also their player suspension for the first 6 games.
They're not bowl eligible anymore either.
Right.
But it's almost like Jim Tressel basically took the bullet for Ohio State. It's almost like secretly Ohio State said, Jim Tressel, take all the blame.
Yeah, please help us.
We'll pay you whatever it takes, buy your contract out, you say you quit or
whatever.
You step down and you take the bullet.
And that's exactly why I'm buying. Because if the NCAA does this, if the NCAA doesn't do anything about this, if they just let Ohio State be that, then the NCAA is the biggest face of it's the face for double standards around the globe. Because we saw it with Kentucky this year with Enes Kanter. And we saw the same thing, the same scenario, except for Enes played in Turkey and Josh Selby didn't. Josh Selby got to play for Kansas. His money got taken out of his scholarship fund. Who does that? I guarantee you, Enes Kanter goes to any other school in the nation, he played last year. I guarantee you
I would agree with that too.
And I'm just saying that's another thing. They're so double biased, they're so double standard that it's not even fun anymore. The NCAA has to get over this being biased. And of course, we all know Duke can never do any wrong.
Right.
Because Coach K is always so spot on. But I'm buying Ohio State because of this very thing. Because the NCAA is not going to do anything to them. And vacating wins, guess what? Those games are still in the books, just with no wins. That's why I'm buying. And the last one is wrestling related, so I think you guys are going to like this one. Okay. You can buy one of the two.
Okay.
CM Punk as champ or John Cena.
Well, that's an easy buy for me for CM Punk.
Okay.
I mean, last night when CM Punk made his triumph from I'll even go back further, okay? CM Punk was making outlandish comments and just everything he wanted to say to the company that he truly felt. I 100% agree with that. He really felt those things. And people cheered him for it. Right. And I was telling him earlier before the show started, he is the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even though they're trying to build Randy Orton because they're calling him the Viper and he's doing kind of Stone Cold things, he's not Stone Cold. CM Punk is. CM Punk is against the establishment. Steve Austin was against the establishment. Right. CM Punk is really booked as a heel. Steve Austin was not really a face either. He did things that a face wouldn't do. But CM Punk is for the fans. And that's why the fans like him. Steve Austin was the same exact way. And the reason I buy him as champion is because we've seen John Cena champion over and over and over again. It's time for somebody different. And we're going to talk about this later when we get into our top 10 wrestlers like right now. CM Punk is by far the best wrestler in the world right now. And I think him as the face of the company, and he's for the fans, and he's doing things that the fans want to see. He is definitely easy buy for me as WWE champion. Easy.
This is a toss-up. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you say John Cena's been champion over and over, but CM Punk has been champion numerous times.
Well, this is the first time he's been WWE champion.
Right, but he has been champion numerous times as well. So, I mean, you got to take that into consideration. And as far as CM Punk being the face of the company, no, that's not. He's not the face of the company. John Cena is the face of WWE. You and I know it. You know it. John Cena, it will always be. You've said it before on this show. As long as he's there, he is their guy.
Well, the thing is now, since Triple H is kind of in charge, maybe things will go a different direction.
Yeah,
never know.
I'm not so sure. But with that being said, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up as far as who I would buy and who I would sell. If I had to pick right now, though, just because of the wow factor, I guess you could say I would go with CM Punk. I'd buy CM Punk because he is the it person right now. He is the guy that everybody wants to see. And although I will say it is quite intriguing that when, like for instance last night, when they're holding their titles up in the air and Cena gets like a little bit of cheers.
He got more boos than cheers that I heard. Yeah.
But more boos, and then CM Punk raises his title, and everybody's just like,
yeah, I saw the screen. I saw the screen shake. I don't know about you, but I saw the camera shake.
Yeah, they went ballistic. Yeah. So I'm buying CM Punk.
I too am buying CM Punk, and for actually pretty much our mind.
Yeah.
Had the show ended.
That's scary.
Had the show ended 30 seconds sooner, I would have bought John Cena. And you guys know me.
Yeah.
I'm not a Cena supporter. When they put those titles above on their heads and the place just exploded for CM Punk,
they went nuts.
The fans are saying enough is enough. Cena's been in I was telling Postmaster, Cena's been in constant the title picture constantly for the last 6 years. It's time for somebody.
Yeah, it's even when CM Punk came out, people cheered for him anyway.
Right. They did. Yeah. That was a good session. I like that.
Yeah, that was different. Doctor, thanks for bringing that on the show there. We'll see what...
let's move on to the NFL.
And by the way, feel free to post a comment along.
Of course.
I listed out 4. Are you buying or selling, guys?
There you
Come
go.
on, we want your input.
So let's go...
Facebook.com/triplethreattalk. Twitter now. We do now have a Twitter page.
At triplethreattalk.
Excuse me.
You're now Trip.
Oh, wow. I got tripped by the trip. But moving on to a little NFL news, guys.
Lockout's officially over.
It's official.
Pigskin.
Woohoo!
It officially ended, but there's still more things to discuss, but the lockout's officially over.
Right.
Team is starting to go into camp this week. They're going to start getting ready for the season, so we're going to have some football this fall.
Got some football coming up. We got our triple threat football spectacular hour.
That's going to come up
probably in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. We're going to have a huge special.
It's going to be 1 hour.
Just to let you know now, it's going to be an hour. We're going to cover every single team, 32 teams, how they're going to fare, and probably we're going to pick Super Bowl also during that show.
We'll do playoffs. Pick the division winners, but yeah, coming up real soon, our spectacular football show.
You play to win the game.
Whoa. We can't until the whole thing is just futile until the final rosters are compiled and set. So that's why we're just giving y'all a heads up. It is coming. It will be an hour long. Yeah. So if you've only got 30 minutes or so,
take a break.
For the show.
Pause it.
Take a break. Pause it. Save your spot. Save your timestamp.
Right, absolutely. And also, I just hope that when we do film, these two haven't torn each other apart, because if what happens, what we think might happen.
Well, right now, what he's discussing here is Matt Hasselbeck, who was the former quarterback of my team, the Seattle Seahawks. They didn't reach an agreement during free agency, and he's no longer with the team. The teams that are interested in him seems like the San Francisco's 49ers, the Tennessee Titans, the Miami Dolphins, and I think there's one more. The Dolphins,
Minnesota Vikings.
No,
yes, it was the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, and the Arizona Cardinals as well. So there are a couple of teams shopping for him. I know the doctor would probably be happy to have him on his team.
I'm kind of hoping he does go to the 49ers, because I'd like to see you two box on it.
Well, the thing is, though, no matter where Matt Hasselbeck goes, I'll follow him, because I followed Matt Hasselbeck since he was in Boston College. I like Matt Hasselbeck. He's a really good quarterback. I think he might be in the Hall of Famer, but we'll see. But another thing to touch on that with Hasselbeck leaving, who's going to fill the void? Well, actually, a couple sources reported today they do have to still sign something on Friday, but it's confirmed that Tavares Jackson, who was a former Minnesota Viking, and Matt Leinart, you know him, that he was on the Cardinals, he went to USC, he was a Texan last season, they're going to go to Seattle. So it seems like you're going to have Jackson, Leinart, and Whitehurst fighting for the top spot. Personally, I think Jackson's going to be the top spot. He seems like the better of the three, and probably Whitehurst, who had a couple good sparks of last season by beating the Rams, and they got in the playoffs with Whitehurst. He's probably going to be second string, and Leinart will probably be third. So it's going to look interesting for us coming up.
Let me ask you this, Doctor. From a standpoint, if Matt Hasselbeck does not go to the 49ers, who would you like to see come to be your quarterback at San Francisco?
I would like to see Kevin Kolb. And I'd tell you why, he did an outstanding job as being the backup when he was called up. He's just an amazing talent. I think he's got everything there that we need. We have, in San Francisco, we have currently all the pieces in play. I've made no mistake about it. San Francisco has a good quarterback the last 4 years. We're in the playoffs every single year, and we won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've made no bones about it. We would be 6-0 in the Super Bowl because we have Vernon Davis.
I think he's the best tight end in the NFC.
Best tight end in the NFC.
Probably
the league.
Well, NFC won, but I'd say Jason Witten's a close second.
Well, okay.
Whoa, hold up here.
Well,
come on now, Dallas Clark. Are you kidding me? He's the best pass catching tight end in the league.
Well, it seems like he's positioned.
Vernon Davis has a 99.5% catch
rate.
Right,
but it seems like with how they use Dallas Clark. I know he is a position as a tight end, but it seems like he's more of a position
slot
as a receiver.
I think Dallas Clark is probably one of the best slot receivers.
Yeah,
in the league. Not a tight end.
But he is a tight end.
He is technically a tight end,
right.
But I don't see him as.
You could say Tammy the tight end is more the tight end for the Colts than
Dallas Clark. Justin Smith is the best defensive end in the league, no doubt about it. Patrick Willis, the best middle linebacker in the league. Yes,
in the league.
In the league, the guy is a beast. Yeah,
I'm smelling bias here, Brandon.
And I'm not smelling because what I'm about to say next shows you I'm not biased. I know. Not only in the NFC, I mean, not even the league. Frank Gore is number 3 running back in the NFC.
I agree with that.
Not even the league.
Well, I was going to put like middle linebackers in there. See, we're going to do all short football here.
Right. Well, no, yeah. But Postmaster asked a question.
I put middle linebacker. Sorry. I mean, I do like Patrick Willis. He's a great talent, great middle linebacker. But I obviously, I'm partial towards Loffa Tupu, obviously. And I like Ray Lewis.
Say that name 3 times.
The one thing I do want to say, though, pending all the rosters getting scheduled.
There's a bunch of free agent things going on right now. So
pending everything, because right now we're thinking Cobb is more likely to go to Arizona.
Yeah, that seemed like they want him.
Assuming everything pans through with Seattle, Hasselbeck goes to the Niners, and Cobb goes to Arizona. The next 3 years, the NFC West is no longer going to be the scrub division.
And you don't mention the Rams. They got a good quarterback too.
Oh,
Sam Bradford.
Great kid.
Great kid for being a young talent. And I think that I think the next few years you're going to see the NFC West rise above and be definitely number 2 league
in the NFC
in the entire league. Number 2 division in the entire league, if not number 1.
Okay.
Really?
He's partial to the AFC.
He's partial to the AFC North.
AFC South.
I say South. I'm sorry.
Actually,
I misspoke.
No,
I'm sorry.
Dude, AFC South, the AFC North, both of those
I'm
divisions are probably in the NFC East.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I'm partial to the AFC South too because Jacksonville's in it too.
Right. And what I'm interested in seeing is like for Cincinnati's purposes, what's Carson Palmer going to do?
And he retired.
No, I mean, he hasn't officially done anything yet.
Right.
They gave him the option. They basically said, we're not going to reward you and grant you your release. You're either going to retire or you're going to come back and play.
Which I think is stupid because they were even discussing this earlier. If you have a commodity like Carson Palmer, people right now there are a lot of teams in the NFL who will overpay for Carson Palmer because he does have talent to offer, and they are in such bad quarterback slots. We're one of them. Yeah. So, I mean, I would love for Jed York to step up and say, hey, we'll take Carson Palmer off your hands. Yeah. I would love that. Out of my three choices for quarterback at San Francisco would be Cobb, Palmer, and Hasselbeck, for sure.
Carson, why don't you just come be Peyton's backup?
We'll definitely cover more NFL as the weeks come by, but let's talk about some wrestling this week.
Absolutely. A lot happened.
A lot happened. Actually, this is the first time in a couple of weeks I'm going to mention something on SmackDown because at Money in the Bank, Daniel Bryan did win SmackDown Money in the Bank. And I know you're going to talk to me about this because you mentioned before we started shooting tonight.
I've got something.
Daniel Bryan came out with an interview by Michael Cole, and he did announce when he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank. He announced a specific date. He announced April 1st, 2012. Now, for those of you who don't know what that date is, that is the date of WrestleMania.
April Fool's Day!
Besides that,
it's
the date of...
One day before my wife's birthday.
It's my girlfriend's birthday.
All that aside, April 1st, 2012 is the day of WrestleMania 28. Now, I know you have a lot to say on this topic, that Daniel Bryan announcing that's the day he's going to cash in.
Now, I know this is... Keep in mind.
Maybe Daniel Bryan cashing in on April 1st is his April Fool's joke.
April Fool's, I'm not cashing it in.
We do know that they bill Daniel Bryan as having a slight sense of humor.
No, we'll see.
But keep in mind, I know this is storyline. Keep in mind that, okay? My beef with this is you have the opportunity to surprise somebody.
Yeah.
And get the most coveted title in the sport.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're going to tell them when that's coming?
Yeah,
I
think one of the biggest advantages of having the Money in the Bank is the element of surprise. Right. Why are you going to tell somebody?
The last person that said they were going to do that was Mr. Kennedy.
What happened?
He didn't make it. Edge took it.
So I mean, yeah, I know the storyline, but I mean, come on now, get real. We know that if you're going to win Money in the Bank, you're not going to really get up there and announce. I understand Daniel Bryan's passion and what they're billing the passion of WrestleMania.
Right.
You know, you want to cash it on the grandest stage to get the grandest title. I get that, but really?
Really?
You're going to let them know it's coming? Really? Hello, United States? Yeah, this is Japan. We're coming to bomb you at Pearl Harbor.
Really? You went there?
I went there.
Oh my gosh.
And our viewership just went this way.
It just bombed. I mean,
see what I have to work with here?
So last night...
Well, there's one more thing on SmackDown, then we'll go to Raw. The thing is that Mark Henry is obviously doing something on SmackDown to get noticed because he had a...
It's hard not to notice.
Well, Kane had a street fight with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton won. And Kane was done, but I think Kane towards the end of his career, if you watch the match, it kind of looks that way. Then Mark Henry comes out and viciously attacks Kane and does the same thing he did to the Big Show at Money in the Bank. So obviously Kane's going to be gone for a while. So it seems like they're giving a big push to Mark Henry.
And that's what we said a couple weeks ago. I said that it looks like they might be trying to position him to be the title holder. Both Kane and Big Show have been title holders recently.
Yeah. And you disagreed.
And you disagreed with me. You did.
You did disagree, and now it sounds like you're agreeing. So which one is it? I'm calling you out.
Are you on my bandwagon?
Are you jumping on the Mark Henry bandwagon?
Right now.
I mean, there's plenty of room.
Right now, right now, I'm still off the bandwagon. I still see people like Christian, Randy Orton in the picture, Sheamus.
I tell you your problem. You had to get past Cody Rhodes. I know you got a boy crush on Cody Rhodes and on Sheamus.
Oh, he went there.
It's time for you to divorce one or both of them. Because I'm telling you what.
Oh my God.
We've been playing nice the last 3 weeks. Everybody has. I'm just trying to spice it up a little bit.
Dude.
You need to get rid of your boy crushes. Because when you take Sheamus out for a date in public, nobody can see him with you.
Oh my God.
I just let you know to wish the doctor the best of his future endeavors.
no.
I guess Stephanie will be filling in for you next
Triple Threat
week.
Talk with Big B, Ghostmaster Jones, and
Stephanie.
But no, I get what you're saying though, because for sure Sheamus definitely has a bright chance and his a bright star in his future, and so does Cody Rhodes.
Right.
They're both going to be unbelievable talents, but I think right now Mark Henry's worked too hard in his entire career.
It seems like they're doing something with him to give him a push.
And I stick by my statement that I said a couple weeks ago. I think that Mark Henry becomes champ.
It makes sense because Christian went through hell and they finally paid him off.
Yeah,
right.
And now Mark Henry's kind of getting the same treatment.
Right.
So you were talking about Raw a minute ago?
Well, I started to, and then your love affair with Cody Rhodes and Sheamus kicked in.
I was Ghostmaster Jones.
We both in future endeavors.
Oh no!
I mean, Triple Threat Talk with Big B, Cody Rhodes, and Sheamus next week.
But see, you're gonna have to paint Sheamus because he won't show up on camera.
I'm sure. Wear a T-shirt, fellas.
So last night was the beginning of the Triple H era. Triple H.
Bow down to the bow down.
Triple H looked an awful lot like Michael Cole last night.
He did.
He really did.
But Raw was good last night. A lot of stuff happened. They did crown a new WWE champion in Rey Mysterio.
Twice.
Well, in the beginning of the night, Rey Mysterio did defeat The Miz. Really?
They give Rey a hard time. I stand by it. Given the choice between John Cena and Rey Mysterio.
Well, that's later. I meant in the beginning.
No. I'm just saying overall.
Right.
If someone put a gun to my head and said, "Who would you rather have as champ, John Cena or Rey Mysterio?" It's Rey Mysterio.
Oh no!
Because
that's terrible.
It's
horrible.
Really?
It's just because John Cena's been the champ too damn long. He's been in the title picture too damn long. Right. They need to push more people. I don't even care if it's somebody. At this point, I don't care if it's someone that's on their way out of the company like Rey Mysterio. I just don't care because John Cena's, he's young, but they pushed him way too far, way too fast.
Yeah. Zack Ryder, WWE champion.
You know it, but after Mysterio won his match, Del Rio came out because Mysterio got attacked from behind by Miz, and Del Rio tried to cash in,
and that
didn't work out for him. So one thing I'm going to mention.
By the way, he never showed up last week.
I know.
What's
disappointed?
But you already knew that.
Anyway, before we get into Triple H's address, I did want to say one thing, just real quick about it. Dolph Ziggler, U.S. champion, fought Evan Bourne last night, and as I mentioned a couple weeks back, like I said, look out for Cody Rhodes, and I still stand by that. Look out for Dolph Ziggler. Because I think Dolph Ziggler...
He is perfection.
Well, I think Dolph Ziggler's been pushed this way for a long time. And he's been Intercontinental Champion. He's been U.S. Champion. So I think definitely a championship, or a big championship, is coming his way very soon. So I'd look out for him.
Which reminds me, not to get off Raw topic, we had a viewer ask about Jack Swagger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
To answer your question regarding you said, well, Jack Swagger became World Heavyweight Champion
without a
mid-card title. You are absolutely correct. However, if you want to get technical, ECW was the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the 3 shows.
Right.
And he was the ECW World Heavyweight Champion. So it was a little higher than a mid-card title, obviously.
Right.
But, I mean, I guess you could consider that.
They saw that he could be the main champion of something, so they said, let's give this guy a run with it.
And also, I think, and the person that posted that, God, I can't even remember. I'm so sorry, viewer. We do pay attention to your comments.
Well, I do.
Address them. I always do.
I love checking the comments. Leave us comments.
Right.
Post on Triple Threat Talk whenever you see Big B leave a post. Or one of us even.
Yeah, I post stuff all the time.
Post comments. We love input.
I posted a question last night about CM Punk, champion, and John Cena. Right. I posted those videos today of CM Punk on Jimmy Kimmel, which I thought was hilarious. So check those out.
How about the video you also posted of CM Punk crashing Comic-Con?
Yeah, CM Punk's all over the place.
But,
he's all over the map.
Yeah. But I think the viewer that posted that was taking our comments a little too seriously. We weren't saying that everybody who's won Money in the Bank.
It seems like a good formula.
Right. It seems like a good formula. We were not saying that everybody who's won Money in the Bank has had a mid-card title. I was just making a statement that in the WWF of the 90s, that the 80s and 90s, that the Intercontinental Championship and the IC Championship was a stepping stone.
Oh, absolutely.
And after the Attitude Era, that kind of drifted off for a little bit, and now here recently, we've seen that resurgence. That's all. That's the only point.
So Triple H made a state of address, and he did a bunch of things. He brought JR back, which was
awesome.
Epic. Which is epic, as he would say.
Epic.
And then a couple other things happened. I'll run through them real quickly. I don't want to waste too much time on it. He told Michael Cole, "You're going to be in a match next." So he put him in a match. And
against Zack Ryder.
Against Zack Ryder, which was awesome. And then
whoa.
when Michael Cole went to the back, R-Truth came out there and they started having a little spat between each other. And
now I was rolling on the floor.
And John Morrison came out, which was awesome. We both like John Morrison.
We know John, and glad you're back.
Yeah, so there's going to be a few.
What did he say? What did he say?
So there's going to be a few. There's going to be a few between Morrison.
That was hilarious.
R-Truth, absolutely. Sure. So as you said, Zack Ryder came out, beat Michael Cole in about 5 seconds, but it was good to see Zack Ryder on TV with like him on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, buy the T-shirt. Woo woo woo! You know it.
You know it.
Anyway, so moving on with that, Rey Mysterio had another match. Again, John Cena for the WWE title, and it's won by
John Cena.
I did think that I was rolling on the floor laughing when when Rey Mysterio locked in the STFU on John Cena.
He didn't have it on him.
That was freaking hilarious.
So John Cena's champion again, and then
at that point, I texted Postmaster. I said, "Not this again."
So,
he did.
So then, a song by a band that. People may know the show, but not the band. They had one hit wonder, and it was called Cult of Personality by Living Colour. And if you're a diehard wrestling fan, you know that song is probably associated with the highlight package I showed for Steve Austin, who went to the Hall of Fame a couple years back. So you're like, who's coming out here? I don't know who this is. What's going on? CM Punk comes out with that song, and apparently that's his new song. And obviously, I didn't know this today. I actually did some research on myself. That was one of his songs in ROH. So it's not like this is a brand new song for him. He's used it before. So that could be something that's going on. We'll talk about.
I gotta say it's epic.
We'll talk about ROH another.
Epic.
We'll talk about ROH another time because I think something's going down with ROH and the WWE at this point. But CM Punk came out to an ovacious crowd cheering him, and then he got in the ring and John Cena said the champ is here. But as you mentioned, CM Punk held the belt up and the crowd erupted for CM Punk. It seems like the fans' choice, the true diehard fans like us, cheer for CM Punk, and the new generation, like the kids, the teens, cheer for John Cena. So it seems like the diehard wrestling fans are going to go with Punk.
Right, and I gotta say, at this point, I'm going with CM Punk because I just don't know how many more times I can say scoot over Cena. WWE, you're getting everything right. You're trying to get this right. Give us what we want. We understand you've got to cater to the kids. You've catered to them the last 6 years with John Cena. Give us CM Punk for however long. I think Cena is good. I think he needs to be in the spotlight.
Right, but I think someone should share with somebody.
Champion.
All right, so that covers all our topics this week. Before we close the show, ladies and gentlemen, I did a little research again today, and I found out that The Miz is Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Thank you. Pro Wrestling Illustrated's #1 wrestler of 2011. Now, I thought what we would do is really quickly, because I know we're a little bit over at this point.
Got a little carried away with football. We were so excited.
See, I told you that we hope the show is going to be an hour when we do that. We'll try to. Let's list our top 10 wrestlers right now. Full time will probably be another 20 minutes. But of right now, we could run through it real quick. Don't really go into why, just like name real quick, maybe give something. So go ahead.
I'm going to have to go with CM Punk as #1. I'm going to have to go with The Miz as #2. I think I'm going to have to go with Big Show as 3, just because they're using him a lot to push over. I know it's a little bit of a shock.
That's a big shock.
I'm going to have to go Jack Swagger because I think.
Really?
This list is making me sick.
Really?
I think you guys are underrating the people that are pushing other people over.
I guess I could say that.
I'm going to say Alberto Del Rio. And I'm going to say Rey Mysterio Jr. And like I said, I know 3 or 4 of them are on their way out of the company.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
But they are doing a tremendous job pushing other people over. And I, for one, am one to see accomplishment.
All right.
And that's why I'm going to put them on my list, because they are paving the way so other people can be this next.
So you want to finish that list?
If you got a few more. Top 6.
You only got 6 there.
Did I just do top 6?
Yeah, why don't you finish that off there?
Let me reorder here. All right, I think we're going to have to do Sheamus as #7.
Okay.
Sheamus!
The fella. God, I don't even know who else. Because, Randy Orton, for sure.
Okay.
I got to say John Cena.
This is not #1 or 2.
At least he's not #1 or 2. And then I probably got to say on that one, let's see, I said Randy Orton. I don't even know who #10 would be. There's so many people.
I mean, come on.
Anybody?
Can we get a little love
Alex
here?
Riley.
Really?
Okay, all right. Interesting.
Your list is like...
My list sucks.
Yeah.
Some people I agree with, and a lot of people I say get off there. So you can get.
Why don't you go ahead?
I'll go first. Number 1, no surprise for me, CM Punk. CM Punk is doing everything right. CM Punk is the main guy. Number 2, Cody Rhodes. Sorry. Cody Rhodes.
God.
Cody Rhodes.
Somebody get this man.
Hey, Cody, if you're listening, we're going to list Big B's number. Give him a call.
No, I know I said don't elaborate on it, but I'm telling you, Cody Rhodes has been on a big push. I've mentioned it many times.
It was a big push, but he didn't win Money in the Bank. He didn't.
All right, this is not for me now. I like Cody Rhodes. I think he's doing really well, and I think he's gonna obviously get a big title push somewhere down the line. Number 3 for me.
Wait a minute. I don't know what's worse. Brandon talking about Cody Rhodes or Brandon talking about tennis. But anyway, go ahead.
Can I finish?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Number 3 has to go with Gary's number 2, The Miz. Even though he's not as
The Miz.
even though he's not as on top as he was before, he was WWE champion, and he definitely got some credibility in the main event spot he was in. Number 4, I'm going to go with the World Heavyweight Champion, Christian. I think Christian is. I think
Who are you?
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't pick him.
I mean, come on.
I think Christian's doing a lot of good things right now, and I
I'm
think
sorry, I thought we were going for the last year.
this year.
Not the last
This
3
year.
months.
This year.
This
Not
year.
the 3 months.
Well, I think Christian's
Even
really,
still,
I think
dude.
Christian's really stepped up as a main eventer now, and I think I have seen what I saw him do to Randy Orton at Money in the Bank. The mind games he played was very, very well done. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
for him.
that's good.
Number 5, someone you will not find in the W roster. On number 5, I go with AJ Styles. AJ Styles is one of the reasons I would watch TNA. Other than him, there's not really much reason to watch it. Number 6, I'm going to have to go with Sheamus. Sheamus is obviously my favorite, and ever since he debuted, they seem like they've been pushing him all the way up. I mean, they gave him a good match with Triple H at WrestleMania. He beat John Cena for the title when no one else would, and I could see you both laughing. So
John Cena fell off a turnbuckle and Sheamus wins by default.
anyway, all right. We're running out of show here. Number 7, I'm going to have to go with Mr. Money in the Bank, Alberto Del Rio.
All right.
I think Del Rio definitely is going to be at the top of the company at one point. Number 8, I'm going to go with someone else in TNA, Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is not pushed as well as he could be, and I remember reading the tweet from Steve Austin that they think that we should pick him up, and I think that'd be a smart idea.
Interesting.
Number 9, I'm going to go with... I feel like I'm leaving a lot of people out. Number 9...
Probably are, but...
Number 9, I'm going to go with... Someone I'm surprised you didn't put on your list. Wade Barrett. I think Wade Barrett...
Well, if you asked me to come up with a list off the top of my head, it's not...
I think Wade Barrett's doing well on his own, and I think he's going to be world champion at some point. I do agree with that. And number 10, I mentioned him on the show, and I think he's going to have a very bright future, is Dolph Ziggler. Bright future, Dolph Ziggler.
So 7, 3 out of the 10 are.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna redo my list next week.
Okay.
But I'll stand by some.
Give you a chance to think about
Give
it.
you a chance to think about it if it's that bad. Okay. Real quickly here, best wrestlers of 2011. Number 1, I'm gonna go with Alberto Del Rio.
Wow.
Reason why: he won the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
He won Money in the Bank.
Okay.
And it seems like he's been at the top in main event.
The only rebuttal I have to that is where's his world title?
Okay. Where's CM Punk's world title?
He won 2 of them.
He's
Yeah.
currently got one.
He's
Okay.
a WWE champion.
So?
He's won more
He
belts.
just won it.
The thing, and I'll get to that real quick. I know we're running out of show here, but Daniel Bryan, even though I didn't want him to win the Money in the Bank, he still won a mid-card title. Del Rio hasn't won a title at all.
I still say Del
All right,
Rio's
go ahead.
number
Go
1.
ahead.
Number 2, I'm going with The Miz.
Okay, we all have Miz in the top 5.
Number 3, I'm going with Randy Orton.
Okay.
Because other than just recently losing the title, he's been running a pretty good program, and he did have a good reign as champion. Number 4, I am going with Christian.
Okay, same as me.
I think that's a good pick. Number 5, I'm going with John Cena.
Ew.
I know.
Gross.
I know.
But he has improved, I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give him
He did
that.
learn a new move at Money in the Bank. I was
He did.
proud of him.
Number 6, R-Truth.
What?
R-Truth.
What?
R-Truth.
Who are you talking to?
R-Truth.
He's doing the show.
Number 7, CM Punk.
Really? That far down?
Yeah.
I think you're getting a lot of hate for that.
Huh?
I think you're getting a lot of hate for that. I think if Punk's not number 1 or 2, you're going to get a lot of hate. But
I don't care.
I know you don't.
I don't care. I'm all about being different.
I
You
can
know,
tell.
you know that.
I can tell.
You know that as well as I do. Number 8, probably have to go with AJ Styles. I agree with you that AJ should be on the list.
Yeah, there are some things on TNA that I enjoy watching, but most of the time it's just whatever. But there are some good talent in TNA for
Absolutely. Sure. Number 9, I want to go with Alex Riley. I like Alex Riley being on the list. I'm with you. I think Alex Riley should be on the list.
I think when this list comes out tomorrow, our list will not be that close. I think mine might be the closest. Maybe.
And number 10.
I doubt it, honestly.
God. Number 10, if I had to choose now, and top 10 wrestlers of 2011, I'm gonna say Michael Cole.
Alright, with that being said, guys, we're out of time.
What a great show this week. A little bit over, but that's okay, guys, as long as you enjoyed it.
Leave us comments.
So just
Michael Cole!
So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
That's right. Send us an email at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. So for Big B, I'm Postmaster Joe.
I'm the Doctor.
See ya!
Thanks for watching, guys.